my dearies, welcome to Miss Hardy's house, where we've got an absolutely wonderful new episode of Dub Talk for you to enjoy. But before we do, we must remember the house rules. First, the boys have a tendency to be rambunctious, which sometimes leads to them using naughty language, so make sure that there are no little ones around. Secondly, the boys are not good at keeping secrets, so you might want to keep that in mind before you step inside. And finally, the boys don't always agree with one another. But remember that they don't speak for everybody. Now then, please do come in, sit down, make yourself comfortable, have a nice cup of tea, and enjoy as my 5 awful, shit-for-brain sons attempt to entertain you in the latest Dub Talk episode for Mr. Osomatsu. Keep your eyes on them, though. They tend to be up to no good, those rascals. Especially that little turd, Andrew. Not right in the head, that one. He probably got hit by a Guinness truck. Anyway, enjoy!
Hello, and welcome to Dub Talk, where a bunch of siblings slack off, become male idols, and occasionally talk about anime. I'm Jetmatsu, and I'm joined tonight by Animatsu.
Hey guys, how you doing? I'm gonna have a fun time. I'm gonna hit on some girls, I'm gonna take a shit on the table, and we're gonna play baseball! Hustle, hustle, hustle.
Patrick Matsu.
I like cats, and I'm chronically exhausted.
Megan Matsu.
If you're wondering where the 6th sibling is, I ate them in the womb!
And Steph Matsu.
Listen, Megan Matsu is the reason why we can't have nice things currently. Like, what the fuck is wrong with all of you guys? Why are you just sitting around doing nothing? Jesus.
He tasted like jerky. And Mom.
I don't want to have to question what shit you're into, Megan Matsu. Thank you.
Well, it starts with a D and ends with an Addy kink.
I'm sorry I asked.
Oh, come on, Steph Matsu. We all know what you're into behind closed doors, and that's something that's called the Alabama Tango with Andrew Matsu.
So anyway, the plan here was to originally have 6 brothers here, but Noah Matsu, Lak Matsu, and Jamal Matsu are all currently serving time in horny jail, while Andy Matsu just got out for good behavior.
Not when he does the Alabama Tango, he doesn't.
He's on probation.
Where's Jyushimatsu? Jyushimatsu is in her specials place, isn't she?
I believe so.
The only one of us free from sin is Zenmatsu.
Yes.
Jyushimatsu's trying to get her own Matsu boy band off the ground.
Lakmatsu is also in horny jail.
Megan, you're being mean before. Amon Matsu has done nothing wrong.
True. Amon Matsu is not enough.
He is more beard than people.
And Jackson Matsu is on an exchange trip to Canada. But about the sacred 13th Matsu, they tasted delicious.
So anyway, we are all gathered here tonight to talk about a dub I wasn't quite sure was going to see the light of day. Mr. Osomatsu, and if you're wondering why I said that, it's because this show has had quite a history.
Oh boy, has it.
You see, the show aired back in 2015 as Piro doing their own weird revival of Otsumatsu-kun, which was originally a manga created by the late Fujio Akatsuka in the 1960s, and had 2 anime adaptations, with one airing in the 60s by Studio Zero, and one in the 80s by Studio Pierrot. The revival caught some flack in its first episode because of a bunch of copyright infringing parodies.
I don't think it's fair to say the first episode got flack. The first episode was much beloved by many, except for the corporations that were being made fun of.
So it got nuked out of existence.
Yep.
Yeah, basically.
Corporations, the only people more butthurt than isekai writers.
Oh, yeah, so that episode was basically raised from the internet. But in spite of that, the show somehow managed to be a hit with both middle-aged folks in Japan who grew up with the original Osomatsu-kun, and also somehow Fujoshi, causing this show to briefly break sale records to, for a while, become the best-selling anime series of all time until Hira and I took it down just 1 year later.
Wait, that good? I knew it was good. I didn't think it was that... What?
Listen, it's because of the Bishimatsu.
Yes, this show was really up there with Neon Genesis Evangelion, I'm not joking.
Well, let's be fair. Some people did want to see some plug suiting with the Matsu brothers.
Choromatsu looks at his hand. I'm so fucked up.
It would be Choromatsu!
Andrew, don't you mean that he's the lowest of the low?
Oh god.
Oh.
So,
So which one of them turns into Tang when he comes?
Fuck! Anyway!
This is the episode where it's acceptable for me to say shit like that.
Anyway, finishing this up real quick. So, while Crunchyroll simulcasted the show, I guess seeing those sales numbers in Japan was enough to catch the eyes of Viz, who picked up both the first and second seasons with the promise of a dub, and then nothing. Viz kept saying they were going to commit to dubbing it, they even previewed a voice cast for the Matsus, and then nothing surfaced. There were all kind of stories about, like, what happened behind the scenes, and, like, supposedly having to start the whole thing over from scratch. And I was kind of convinced this thing was going to get buried, and just end up sitting on a laptop somewhere. And then suddenly, about 4 or 5 years after that initial license announcement, a Blu-ray listing came up on Right Stuff, and we're here.
Jet's like, it's a fucking miracle.
I was actually reminded of one of the Matsu brothers originally posted on Twitter the exact con and year they were announced to be the Matsu brothers. It was Anime Weekend Atlanta 2018. 3 years for this to finally come out in February of 2021.
Better late than never.
Better
Yeah.
late than never, but holy
And
shit.
I mean, at least they did just announce season 2.
Surprising all of us.
So this timing couldn't have been better.
I mean, I know the Matsus did say they had recorded season 2 already, so I figured we wouldn't wait as long as we did for season 1, but that was so faster than I thought it would be.
So movie in season 3 when?
Same.
And on this day, Jet has been fed to the fullest.
Feed us more, they said. Feed us more.
So, quick question, Jet. Is there some form or fashion of a summary for this fucking show so people understand the insanity?
Let's say, yeah, I was going to pull the description off the Blu-ray release, but I realized I left that in my room.
We have our Blu-ray, like, right in front of us. We can do it if you want.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Okay. In the hardworking country of Japan, the sextuplet Matsuno brothers from the legendary comedy manga Osomatsu-kun are now all grown up, but just can't be bothered to do anything productive with their lives. Allergic to work, inept with girls, and completely oblivious to what society thinks of them, the 6 20-somethings prefer to spend their days lying around their parents' house, where mom makes the food, dad makes the money, and the pressures of modern living never intrude. After all, life is just too short to waste your time not wasting your time. So yeah, insanity. Basically.
So, you look at this show, you see who's in the show, both in Japanese and in English. And on the paper, if you see those actors, you would think, okay, it seems like it would be a reverse harem thing. What if it was, except all the boys were awful and terrible? Every single one.
Except for the Bishi versions.
No, they're still pretty awful too.
Yeah, so I guess we can get into it. As always, we'll start with our ADR directors and adaptive scriptwriters, who are one the same for this show, and we have a rather interesting case for this dub. Yeah, see, back when Vince first announced the dubcast, they said the voice director was going to be one Patrick Seitz, who has written and directed on such shows as Arahata, The Flower We Saw That Day, Monster, and Agretzko. However, it turns out that Patrick Seitz was only involved for the first 4 episodes. He had to step down because at the time he's been doing voice direction on some little indie game no one's ever heard of. And it was called Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
I don't know, that game sucks.
I don't know, it's... I heard it's mediocre.
I heard it's a pretty bad game. Oh god, that character Felix sucks the most.
You shut your whore mouth about my boy! That is my boy!
Cue the Dimitri to do joke with the hamster eating the banana.
What?
Okay, that can't even be the hamster eating the banana because they're both the banana! You don't think Dimitri, King of Farkas, has a lance the size of his forearm, his pants? Good God almighty, Dimitri and Dedu are probably hung more than 2 Clydesdales put together. If anybody is the banana and the hamster, it's if either Dedu or Dimitri are fucking Ash or Byleth. Maybe Annette.
Megan, this is why we date.
So anyway, he had to step down, and taking his place for the rest of the show, we have one Christopher Bevins.
Yay!
Who's written and directed on such shows as Aquarion Logos, Princess Jellyfish, and Sengoku Basara.
It has been actual years since we have talked about a brand new Christopher Bevins dub.
This seems like it would have been like a bit of an interesting challenge to adapt into English because, I mean, a lot of its crude humor translates pretty well, but like having watched the show in Japanese, I know like a lot of characters had like very specific verbal tics or like speaking patterns that would be hard to replicate without sounding awkward. Like Katapo ended all his sentences in Joe, and like I think Iyami ended up in like Zansu or something like that. So stuff like that would have seemed like it would have been really awkward to translate into English. And as we did read an interview with the localization manager, David Caspet from Viz, who worked on this, and he kind of mentioned that one of the balances he actually had to do for this was like getting rid of some of those verbal tics while also retaining character personalities. So he used verbal tics like that, but he wanted to keep it stuff like Iyami saying she because, you know, that's kind of his whole thing.
Which is fair. The first couple of days when we were watching it, I wouldn't stop yelling she, and Andrew almost wanted to deck me because of it.
Fair enough.
And it kept popping up, and considering who voices Iyami too, it's like, she! I can't look at this man the same way again. Like, I can't. I fucking can't.
So this show, where do you even start? I feel like when it came to like the direction and the script, I had a hunch this was probably going to be fun and a little wild. And I will admit, some of my concerns about this dub taking so long and some of the alleged rumors about why it took so long, I was a little concerned that it wasn't going to be as sharp or as raunchy as it could have or should have been. No, this is pretty fucking raunchy.
Oh yeah.
Also, I took count of how many times the word fuck was uttered in this dub. It is more than most dubs you would assume. This had 24.5 utterances of fuck or fuck adjacent words. I only say 0.5 because at some point Osomatsu said, "You motherfuck," and then he gets cut off. So I'm like, I'll allow it.
I have 2.5 pages worth of notes, but I'm pretty sure like half of my notes are fucking lines. Like, bro.
Bruh.
The writing on this is bug nuts.
Like, I don't know whether it's always Patrick or Bevins or if it's just the actors themselves, but either way, some of the things that are uttered out of these characters' mouths is a trip.
Well, there was interview with the actors for Osomatsu and Karamatsu, and Osomatsu actually mentioned they would have multiple different versions of a line to try and say to figure out what could work. And half the time, he's just sitting in the booth and is like, what do you want me to say?
Yeah, a lot of, like, the good script zingers I really want to call attention to. I want to mention when we get to specific characters, but believe me, there's a lot of gut busters in this, and I was blown away. Good job to Patrick, and especially to Bevins, for kind of having to come into the show in a very interesting scenario, but really picked up the goddamn work. He even gets called out in the show.
Yeah.
Like, damn it, Bevins sounds like something we would fucking say, not an actual anime.
Bruh.
Oh god.
Bruh?
Bruh.
What it do? What do, Jyushimatsu?
That cannibal is full of shit and people.
I'm getting wet, apparently.
So yeah, I also really like the script here. I looked at a really good balance between, you know, knowing when to be fast and loose with material and also knowing when to punch things up while also kind of letting some of the show's existing sense of humor speak for itself. Going back to one of the interviews I read with David Caspet, he did mention that was something he really wanted to pay attention to with the dub. Yeah, like, very specifically when it came to localization, he, like, went straight up to the Japanese production committee and said, like, we're gonna have to be really fast and loose with this to make it work, and they gave the approval, so yeah, it's pretty much every liberty taken here was more or less approved. And he could tell they had a lot of fun with it, but he also said he wanted to make sure the spirit of the show was kept. So he more or less let the adaptive writers do what they wanted, but he also wanted to make sure, like, you weren't relying too much on just, like, having a bunch of funny swears and stuff like that. And I appreciate that.
Adapting a gag comedy like this with an adult sense of humor, you kind of have to take liberties with it a little bit, so I'm glad Japan kind of was just like, okay, cool.
Yeah, no, I was happy they got away with what they did. It was actually really weird. I actually thought this was going to be a lot more raunchy than it was. I actually didn't think it was raunchy enough. I thought they were holding back.
Oh shit!
Hi, I'm the person who just said a character was hung like a Clydesdale.
We are talking to you and your sense of humor.
It's not even like my sense of humor is like, I've heard more vulgar stuff in other dubs. Like, let's be real, I've watched Ghost Stories that has a very vulgar dub. I've seen Shimonetta, which was more vulgar. Granted, that was also a straight sex comedy. Like, I've seen a little bit more vulgar stuff in the humor department. I don't know if when I watched the first 8 episodes, if I was in a particularly bad mood. It took like half the season for the show to actually start getting funny to me. And I don't know if that's because I had more of an expectation going into this dub, because a lot of people I know have been into Osomatsu for a while, and like people have been trying to get me to watch the show subbed for years. So I had a lot more expectations going into it, and also B, when this dub was first coming out, people were just sharing clips out of context, and a lot of those clips were like the jokes about calling Choromatsu Fappimatsu. And I thought it was going to be that tone the entire way through, because that's what people were clipping. Honestly, it's not that I didn't enjoy the dub. I think it's a very well put together comedy dub. I think a lot of it's very funny. There's a lot of really great one-liners later on. But I think that it was still a little bit too held back, in my opinion. Like, if you're gonna go whole hog, go whole hog. Because I think that the acting in this could have gone up to that level. Like, I don't think the acting is bad, I just think it was a little too safe. But from what I've been told, Season 2 is even somehow more raunchier than Season 1.
A little true, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's more raunchy than Season 1, so maybe it'll be a little bit more what I'm expecting then. But I'm not disappointed, but it's a bit of a what I expected, what I got, for me. Great dub, I just think that it could have been a little bit more punched up, personally.
That's fair. Yeah, like, speaking personally, like, with comedy dubs, I tend to be, like, very particular. Because for me, the thing with comedy dubs is that I understand, like, being fast and loose with the material can be really important, but the issue I, like, sometimes occasionally run into with comedies is where there can sometimes be a little bit of dissonance between the adaptive writer's sense of humor and the sense of humor that was, like, originally in the show. And I feel like this dub in particular actually did a really good job of striking that balance, which is something I personally appreciated. Like, it can still...
I think it could have still struck the balance, but I think it could have still been a bit more punched up while still maintaining it.
Yep, I mean, that's fair. One last thing I did want to mention was that I did appreciate some of the casting choices here. I did like how cartoon-like a lot of the characters were directed to sound. It definitely matched the show really well. And one thing I kind of noted that was interesting about the monsters in particular is that, as we mentioned before, in Japanese, they're played by 6 of the most popular male seiyuu on the market, and that's kind of part of the joke. And while it would have been, like, incredibly easy for the dub to follow suit and suncast the main boys, it kind of pulled an interesting little twist where, at the time the dubcast was originally announced, 5 of the 6 Matsus were all, like, fairly established and or popular male voice actors in the US. And the actor for Osomatsu was kind of a newcomer to the scene. But ironically, by the time the dub actually came out, Osomatsu's voice actor became pretty well-known and established. So the joke basically ended up coming full circle anyway.
It really did come fucking full circle, didn't it?
One thing I actually do really appreciate is, well, you can definitely tell the script was heavily modified from the original Japanese. It kept the same energy. It felt like everything there was supposed to be in place. Like, none of the jokes felt too far off, even when they were completely changed from the ground up. And, yeah, script writing and direction were pretty great. My only complaint is a couple instances of double casting were a little too obvious, but other than that, like, I have no qualms here.
Yeah, cool. Oh, yeah, I meant to add this earlier, but, coincidentally, did you guys see the Shiratori extra?
No, but I have seen you post it on Twitter, which is the one where it's basically the first letter game.
Yeah, you need to see that extra, particularly for the joke the translators added in.
Because they didn't dub it, and the entire thing is literally just a very Japanesey game.
Okay.
And they basically just subbed it, and in the background, the translators were just going off.
I mean, isn't it by the end, the translators were in, like, a murderous rampage mode? That was beautiful. Yes, I did see those. I thought you were referring to episode 3.5, which I didn't get to.
But yeah, that whole thing was great.
Jet, what the fuck did you make me watch?
Madness.
Madness. Insanity. Steph's brain slowly, dying.
I swear to God, when you were saying insanity, I legit thought you were gonna say incest for a second.
What?
The show is so crazy, you open your door, and there's a giant tea party with a man with a giant hat and a rabbit waiting for you.
What the fuck happened?
Yes. You're on an acid trip now, boys.
Yep, this is a show that's about Tutseva, which is amazing considering that, the new voice actor for Gendo was in this dub. Which just made me think of something really terrible. I'm not just imagining Dekapon saying, get in the room on Ichimatsu or the ESP Kitty will do it again.
Yes!
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that Dekapon having an actual normal voice fucking freaked me out the first time.
Actually, aren't we going to talk about him, next?
Yes, we are. We're gonna start talking about some of the minor characters in this show's ensemble, or at least the ones who have the least amount of lines. We have the parents, Matsuo and Matsuno, Professor Dekapon, and DAYON. Matsuo and Matsuno are the parents of our 6 main slackers that are just kind of exhausted by their existence. Professor Dekapon is some weird scientist who just hangs around and offers the characters weird experimental drugs.
As you do.
Honestly, Dekapon and DAYON feel like they're the most clearly lifted from a 1960s cartoon. And I'm also pretty much convinced they're married.
No, yeah, that's why they're my OTP.
They spent Christmas together as buds.
And then went to a fucking love hotel for funsies. Because why not?
You know, as you do. I think the show, actively makes gay jokes at them, because in the Mario Kart episode, when Iyami distracts everybody, he puts a love hotel up in front of them to drive into.
And then they crash into it.
Totoko's is just the Yushimatsus.
They also make old jokes at both Dekapon and Dayon's expense.
The best part about them driving into the love hotel is fucking Dekapon saying, sliding it in!
That's what he was doing to DAYON!
I didn't catch that!
I mean, it is canon that DAYON is good at sucking.
Oh!
And his jaws can stretch pretty far.
That's true.
I ribs for your pleasure, DAYON!
Sit your ass down!
I'm good at blowjobs, DAYON!
Dayon!
DAYON! God, imagine the ahego face DAYON can make.
Okay.
Oh my god!
Oh,
Now Andrew's
God.
stepping away.
Oh my god, can somebody make me a DAYON ahego t-shirt?
Oh sweet baby Jesus.
You know Hardy would do it.
You know he can't, his parents would yell at him.
That's fair.
With some of Dekapon's special medicine. Anyway.
Andrew had to leave the room for a second.
Is Andrew dying?
So while he's dying in the background, anyway, playing Matsuo, we have Mick Wingert, who has played such characters as Kane in To the Abandoned Sacred Beast, Iron Man in Marvel Future Avengers, and Howard Phillips Lovecraft in Bungo Stray Dogs. Matsuzo is played by Keith Silverstein, who is in pretty much everything, and has played such characters as Guilt Sorrow in One Piece Film Gold, AZ in Pokemon Generations, and Seiji Hatani in Zetman. Dekapon is played by Ray Chase, who has played such characters as Masamune Goto in March Comes In Like a Lion, Zash Kane in Fairy Tail Dragon Cry, and Professor Cerise in Pokemon Journeys.
I forgot about Zash Kane. Thanks for that nightmare.
Does that mean Dekapon has a sex dungeon?
Does it not?
I wouldn't put it past him.
Lastly, DAYON is played by Keith Silverstein again, who has done everything I mentioned before, but also Chad Shaden in Mobile Suit Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans, Mayoshi Shino in Persona 5, and Charles Aznavour in Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin. Yeah, so I think we can start the top with the parents because we can basically just pair them together.
Okay, I want to start because holy shit, I did not think their mom was played by a man.
You were so surprised when you saw the cast list!
I was so adamant because it was so good!
You can't tell! Mick sounded like an older lady!
No, it really does!
Yeah, I remember seeing him post that announcement on Twitter a while back, and I was like, that can't possibly be right. And I hear it, and I still can't
Terrifying!
believe it.
It's an absolutely terrifying performance because it's a really good old lady voice!
If I was to compare it to anything, I'd say Mick Wingert as Matsuo would make a really convincing 90s Funimation DBZ Frieza voice.
Oh my
my
god!
Okay, Andrew,
Yeah?
you're not actually too far off the mark with that one, because apparently in the Japanese, Matsuzo is played by Kujira.
That's Orochimaru! That's
Orochimaru.
fucking Orochimaru! And, that's not only Orochimaru, that's the Japanese voice actress for Sakura and Danganronpa.
Oh, bless.
That actually works
Love
pretty
it.
great.
Okay, but Mick Winger actually was a legitimately convincing old lady voice, and if you did not know, you would not think that it's a guy playing them. Like, that is legitimately why we have the Voice Acting Black Magic Award, is for people like that.
It's as convincing to me as, like, Linda from Bob's Burgers.
Yes.
But since we're on the subject of Matsuzo, can we just talk about the divorce episode?
Yes! Oh my god! Where she's deciding to interview her kids for which kid is gonna stay.
Which is gonna live with her, yep.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, that's harsh. I'm surprised my Nana never pulled that to my mom and her kids.
But in particular, the one line that absolutely destroyed me. I can't remember which brother it was, but he's basically just going on like, let me live with you, I'll give you grandkids.
Choromatsu. That's my favorite, too.
Choromatsu, thank you. But then she turns to them and she's just like, alright, which one of you boys is the horniest?
Yes!
And she's just broken, just like...
It is her delivery of that single word, horniest, where he put the emphasis on the H. I don't know why, but it was just the funniest thing.
I also appreciate just how, like, Stone Cold that
Yes,
line
how
was delivered.
straight that line was read. That's amazing.
So good.
Honestly, the entirety of the interview episode was the highlight of Mick's performance.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was just so fucking good.
And then Keith as the dad, it's a very good performance, but it's not as memorable as the mom.
No, the character himself just doesn't get the kind of moments.
It's also
Yeah.
the most vanilla Keith flavor in this
Right.
Compared to, he's also DAYON, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's DAYON.
Yeah.
DAYON is, I didn't know he was DAYON either. And he does a really good job as this just DAYON!
95% of DAYON is just being DAYON and saying DAYON in weird, funny ways.
And then there's where DAYON drops character.
Yes.
Like, every time they drop the DAYON and Dekapon act, it's the funniest shit.
It's great. They're just like old, like gritty. Arr. It's so great.
Okay, also be that weird, like, old writer's motorcycle movie part
Yeah.
is just really weird. And that I like that they can convey so much emotion through the words DAYON and wee
Wee wee!
wee.
It reminded me like a Pop Team Epic sketch.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
I think my favorite part of, like, that whole, like, little writer short with Dekapon and Diode was just, like, you see them together at the end of the episode, they're like, oh, they're good friends. And, like, Dekapon gets frozen solid, Diode just carries him up a mountain and just drops him off.
Yes. He's just like, fuck it, and he keeps going. Can I just also say, the, two little shorts at the end of the, couple episodes where it's the DAYON, like, therapy session thing. The first one being with Osomatsu and the second being Karamatsu, where he's just sitting there, stupid grin on his face. The voice each don't shut up, so he's like, push the button. He turns to the camera, DAYON!
DAYON.
That's it. I'm just like, that's amazing. I love it. I got sad that they didn't do the rest of the brothers.
I feel like Dekapon and DAYON are like very clear-cut examples that this is an old gag manga property. Because they are just wacky, monstrous people, the likes of which even One Piece characters would be like, okay, maybe that's a bit much. But fuck if they don't work. And, oh god, even Ray. Oh god, my fucking favorite line. It's probably what I'd say is the worst episode in the fucking season.
Yep,
Definitely
okay,
the
yep.
grossest,
Yep.
and definitely the most problematic for a multitude of reasons. That being said, I love the power and conviction of the way Dekapon says the line and the way Ray delivers it. Holy Master Roshi!
That was a good one there, Biffins.
What I liked even better, though, the ESP Cat episode.
Yes!
Yes, I love ESP Kitty. That was so fun.
They almost shoved a giant needle up Ichimatsu's ass, which, for the love of God, this show has more dick and shit going up people's ass than a BL.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk about Hatsubo next, so that's a fun one.
Oh, boy!
Decapon penetrated that pussy real good.
Oh, God! Anyway, you were saying.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact line, but it's because he's holding a giant syringe and he's just like, yeah, of course this is going up your ass. Be glad it's not a suppository.
Yes!
I also remember, like, a few minutes later, he referenced some romantic comedy movie.
Oh yeah, What Women Want.
Yeah, that was definitely something Bevan's threw in.
But, God, Ray and Keith 1 and Keith 2 are definitely very outlandish and entertaining in this wild, wacky series.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things with Decapod and Diane isn't even necessarily some of their lines, but just like throughout the entire Mario Kart Raid episode, just like the very terrifying expressions they make.
Yes!
Oh, just
I love them!
They fucking screwed Iyami over so hard at the beginning of the race.
they woke up and chose murder.
It shows violence.
I mean, it's Iyami. Why wouldn't you choose violence?
Iyami chose genocide.
Exactly!
Genocide.
But man, there will be things to be said about that in here in a sec.
Oh, man,
let's
we will go into that
go.
momentarily.
Again, like, I went around the apartment after watching some episodes with him, and I am either going, she, or, Dayon!
Dayon!
Andrew wanted to punch me. Dayon!
Dayon me in bed, daddy!
Hoi hoi!
Hui hui!
I swear to God, Patrick, if you hui me in bed, I'm gonna die.
Challenge accepted.
Oh, shit.
Would that kill the mood, or would that only make it hotter?
Oh, God!
I mean,
I'll test that out for research for you.
No! I swear to God!
depends. Is he sucking as hard as Dayon?
Jeff, please take this around.
Please save this!
Like a rusty trombone?
No! Jeff, please! Get us out of here!
So are we good for these?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll go into some of the major players of our ensemble here.
Woo.
And next up, we have Hatsubo, Shibita, Iyami, and Totoko. So Hatsubo is a guy with a flag on his head, and in the original Osomatsu-kun series, he was just kind of one of the Matsu's pals, and kind of occasionally worked for Shibita or Dekapan. But here, he's become a successful CEO and billionaire doing something.
And he consults Obama.
Consultations, I guess?
Obama?
To give it a person of how long it took for this dub to come out, in the entirety between Viz licensing the show and the dub coming out, the entire Trump administration passed.
Yeah, holy fuck!
That's a scary prospect, I'm gonna say that.
But anyway, Shibita was originally a childhood bully of the Matsus in the original Osomatsu-kun, and he was also their rival for Totoko, apparently. But in this series, he's just kind of a chill dude running an Odin-sol and wondering why these guys won't pay their tab.
He grew up and he found his life's passion, and he's fulfilled, and he's like, wow, you guys fucking suck.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But then again, everybody in the show is like, wow, you guys fucking suck.
Meanwhile, they kind of suck.
They wake up every morning and are like, man, I kind of suck. Oh well, time to fap.
It's, kind of a lot of rocks being thrown from glass houses in this show.
Exactly. Anyway, Iyami is kind of a mischievous dude who's obsessed with friends and looks like he'd be related to Dick Dastardly. And it's also worth mentioning that in the original Osomatsu-kun series, he became so popular that he basically became the protagonist for a while. And in this series, he got relegated back to a side character, and he's extremely bitter about that. Hence the Mario Kart episode.
So, if I was to make a reference to Broadway, Iyami would be the guy in Spamalot singing the Whatever Happened to My Part song that the Lady of the Lake sings.
Okay. Alright.
And finally, Totoko was the heroine and love interest of the Matsus in the original Osomatsu-kun series. And that's basically true here. She also doubles as an idol, and has done basically nothing wrong in her entire life, and oh god, she's sitting behind me with an axe and threatening me to say this.
She may have done nothing wrong in her life, but holy shit, she is gonna do wrong things to people.
Oh, this girl has murdered, and will do it again, so help me God.
I'm not gonna lie, one of my favorite lines in the whole show
You can all go down to Totoko Town.
Oh
Yes.
my god!
If you win this, you can all go down to Totoko Town! I love Gurren Lagann.
Oh god.
So basically, if I had to describe Totoko as a character, so you remember that one episode of The Fairly Odd Parents where Timmy wished he could be alone in the world with Trixie Tang?
Yes.
Only for it to turn out Trixie was actually a crazy yandere who craves
Yep.
the love and attention of others constantly. That's basically Totoko's entire character.
Oh my
She wants
god.
her ego to be stroked so bad.
You're right, she is the tell me I'm pretty girl. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Andrew, the entire second ending credit sequence is about just that.
Okay, no. I want to talk about that for a second, because there are two variations of the second opening.
Second ending.
Thank you. Where each of the Matsus is singing to her, and she's being like, you're disgusting, I can't deal with you, go away.
And then when they
And-
get through the first run of the Matsunos.
They go to the idol F6 versions of the Matsuno singing to her, and she's like, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed, kya. And instead of saying no, she's like, yes. I'm like, oh, that's fucking good, I like that.
Yeah.
Also, those endings are just amazing mixed media.
Yeah, the entire point of that song was she wanted the attention of the Matsuno brothers, but she didn't want to be with the Matsuno brothers.
They can look, but they can't touch.
In the show, she loves attention. She's okay with getting the attention from the Matsuno brothers, but she just won't date them.
So anyway, Hatobo is played by Jeremy Lee, who has played such characters as Road Camelot and Negreman, Red Blood Cell and Souls at Work, and Lucy Heartfilia and Fairy Tale. Shibita is played by Alice Cazares, who has been in more of the Western animation side of things, but has played such characters as Ken Pika in Dino Girl Galco, Kinu Furisato in Twin Star Exorcist, and what I personally know her for, Lily, aka Glitter Piece from Glitter Force. And Iyami is played by, wouldn't you know it, Keith Silverstein, who has done everything I mentioned before. But just for good measure, he's also Johan Liebert in Monster, Robert E.O. Speedwagon in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and Hisoka in Hunter x Hunter
I
2011.
fucking hate you for mentioning Johan. I can't look at Johan the same way again.
I appreciate that Iyami is the one you give the career highlights.
Also, can I just note one thing? In the cast list that Jet sent us, Matsuzo Matsuno, Keith Silverstein. Dayon, Keith Silverstein 2, Electric Boogaloo. Iyami, Keith Silverstein 3, Revenge of the SHEEEH!
Lastly, Totoko is played by considerably Morris, who has played his characters as Emi Kaido in Infinity Force, Henrietta de Tristan in The Familiar Zero, and Kyubey in the Pulamage Madoka Magica
Oh
franchise.
god.
Jet, I appreciate the fact that you are the one and only person that will acknowledge and remember that Infinity Force happened.
Someone has to.
Somebody has to. Did you get a free copy?
Yeah, I did get a free copy. I still don't understand why.
How did you get a free copy is now my question.
I don't know, I think it was like asking Vince about the Dubcast, and then like they just shot me DM like, hey, want a free copy?
Okay.
We don't know. You find it for yourself.
Alright.
I'm not complaining, but thank you. What? Anyways, I just love telling that story every time it comes up.
Anyway, let's start with Hatobo.
Fuck you, that's not Jeremy.
Yeah!
No, I could tell that was her.
Yeah, like, you can very tell it's her.
Okay, so you can tell it's her, but at the same time, fuck you, that's not Jeremy.
Like,
what?
I hear it, but it's a very, very different Jeremy.
Like, some of the mannerisms that Hatobo has is like a drooly baby, kind of.
If
in the
I
tone
was
of
to
voice,
describe it, Hatobo is what happened if you cast Jeremy Lee in a new dub of Crayon Shin-Chan.
Oh my god. You want to
Oh
know
my
what her Hatobo performance reminds me of?
What?
If they redubbed Ghost Stories and they made her the little brother.
Oh my god.
Honestly, she gives a lot of strong Ralph Wiggum vibes as Hatobo.
You're not wrong.
I'm in danger!
See, at least this is the moment where you can see his heart breaking in two.
And you know, just like Ralph Wiggum, Hatobo definitely has a body count.
Oh god, does he?
Hatobo, I just need to know if this food had a name!
There is actual cannibalism.
Yeah, because at the beginning of that show, you see his employees complaining to him.
Yes.
He immediately just says, "Oh, you guys aren't my friends." And then the next shot is just him selling meat.
Yeah.
He was selling gyros.
He's selling different variations. He was selling like burgers. He was selling like fucking takoyaki or some shit. And each time the Matsunos
What
I
is
wonder what
this?
is in this? And then you just see a wide-eyed stare from Hatobo.
I need to know if this meat has a name.
Yeah, the end of it has all 6 Matsunos with a steak in front of them, and the boys are just like, Hatobo, wait!
Hatobo, I want to know if this meat had a name!
Remember when Hatobo died and was like, I don't feel so good.
Oh god!
Yes! Jeremy's deliver if I don't feel so good.
And just so we're clear, this anime came out years before Infinity War.
Thanks, Bevins.
Also, really good delivery from it. Are you guys my friends?
Yes.
Or like, wait, Hatopo, if you give us a job, then you won't just give away our money. Okay, you're all hired! And then he's like, okay, but we have to stick a flag in your head. And they're like, no, we'll just stick it up our ass.
Thinking it's the tiny one still.
And then Hatopo brings out, like,
The flagpole equivalent of Bad Dragon.
flag dragon.
Which,
Just to shove it up your ass.
the part of this that absolutely fucking broke me was when he's got the flag and he's about to stick it up their ass. He does a fucking Obari pose. Like the mecha pose with the sword, but it's with the flag anal probe.
God. Can I just mention a line? I think Hatobo had it in that same episode early on, where he shows the Matsunos his vault full of money, and Hatobo says, yeah, Scrooge McDuck right on it. I was like, I got you. That's good.
So yeah, before we move on, I just wanted to credit Patrick. You did the meme where it's like, if I had a nickel for every time that there was an Obari pose as a dick joke in Otomatsu on, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but man, it's weird it happened twice. Which the other one was the baseball episode where you're right, that was a Gurren Lagann finale, that baseball was a fucking cock.
No, Andrew, that's not a baseball. That's called a bat, you ignorant slut. The bat is the dick. The baseballs are the testicle, and that's where pee is stored.
Pee is stored in the heart of the ball.
Oh, we have fun here.
Piss ain't stored in the tits, mate.
Listen, Patrick, you say we have fun here. What do you fucking expect when it's the 5 of us talking about a show like Osomatsu?
So Chibita.
Yeah, let's talk about Chibita.
Okay, I was actually super impressed by Alex's performance. I'm not super familiar with their work. And again, they make a convincing younger boy joke. And I like how you say, oh, Chibita's did nothing wrong in his life. That's a fucking lie. Chibita's okay with a lot of Iyami shit.
Yeah, Chibita kind of contributes to the problematic episode, so...
Yeah, that episode sucks.
Okay, just a quick sideline for that. That episode about them becoming rental girlfriends is kind of aggressively transphobic. A. B. I know so many of my trans gal pals who would fucking kill for that level of magic estrogen pill. And C. If your job was to pimp out, you're pimping out on the poorest, no moneyest chubs.
Why are you fucking the Matsunos? You're probably gonna get chlamydia.
They made a point, didn't they, that they just wanted revenge because the boys, like, turned them down when they weren't?
Yeah.
If you wanted some, you should have gone to Hatobo.
Look, Jyushimatsu turned himself into a virus to fight other viruses. Lord knows what he'd give you.
I love cells at work.
Oh, it's true.
I'm not gonna lie, based on how he can wiggle his arms, I'm pretty sure that his dick is wiggling too. Anyway.
Yeah, probably.
Can I also just say, weirdly enough, Alex's Chibita stupidly reminded me of Naruto.
My god,
A bit,
it does.
yeah.
It does. Like, the tone is so similar, and it makes it even more silly, crazy, I don't know, because Chibita has the fucking whiskers on his face.
Yeah, I love that. Why do I want to run the race? I want to know what these are!
Yes!
Are they whiskers? Are they scratches? I want to know.
I've had these my whole life. I just want to know.
Nobody cares.
Well, I care.
But Alex's performance is genuinely very convincing, and I'm not gonna lie, there are a couple times where Chibita does get his chain yanked. There's like a really drama episode with Chibita, and Alex 100% sells it.
Are you talking about the flower episode?
Yes!
Yes, I loved that. It was so good.
Which I believe the flower girl was Brianna Knickerbocker.
It was.
But, like, it was really sad, and Alex did such a good job carrying, like,
yeah.
it felt like an actual genuine, like, shoujo.
Absolutely. It was so good. I loved it.
Obviously, it gets all ruined in the end because, of course, it's Osomatsu-san, so
One thing I will say I appreciate is that having watched the show in Japanese, I do know that Chibita had like a little bit of an accent there. I don't know if it was supposed to be an Osaka man, but it was like a little bit of an accent, so I appreciate that the dub kind of follows suit and Alex gives Chibita like a little bit of a country accent. And also, like, Chibita had his own weird verbal tick. It was like Paro or something like that. I remember in the subtitles they always like translated it as like Injin or damn it or something like that. So I appreciate that the dub just kind of like has him usually just saying like damn it or something like that. So yeah, that was definitely a nice little touch I appreciated. Yeah, I also appreciate that like Chibita is probably like one of the more down to earth members of the cast, and kind of the one where it's like he can get into like some zany antics, but he also definitely has a heart. I think one of my favorite things of him is like that episode where everyone runs out with their tab, he gets really mad. He kidnaps Karamatsu, and then it turns out no one cares about Karamatsu.
Yes, and nobody gives a fuck about
Chibita
Karamatsu.
just feels sorry for him.
I actually believed Karamatsu and his bromance.
Yes, that was great. Because there was another episode later on where Chibita goes all in about his love of Oden and how to
He basically
fucking make it.
He basically offers him a job to work at his stand. He's like, how do I make the Oden? You gotta touch the Oden. You gotta lick the Oden. You gotta date the Oden. You gotta be the Oden. And then he whips his dick out and plunges it into the Oden.
And Karamatsu's like, oh fucking god.
And then yet later on in the show too, Karamatsu decides, Chibita, let me live with you.
He's as reliable a roommate as anyone. And yeah, no, I really do love Alex's performance. Like, it's just very casual, but very, like, believable, snarky, fun performance. Yeah. And, like, it's genuinely, like, one of the biggest surprises of the ensemble cast. Where, at this point, I'd say I am very, very familiar with everybody in this cast. Alex is the one where it's like, I have no prior reference to their voice. And they were fan-fucking-tastic, and I was really impressed.
Yeah, same. I was not very familiar with Alex's work.
I loved it.
Also, we'll mention it. I gotta say, of the things I did not expect from this show, was for it to have actually genuinely good drama.
Yes.
Holy shit, I did not expect to actually feel in this show.
Yeah. It's a weird breath of fresh air in the weird insanity.
But it's genuine.
It's genuine, and it feels really nice, honestly.
Jet, what has the director of this anime done before?
The director of this anime, before doing this, he did a lot of episodes on Gintama.
That checks
Okay.
out.
That explains a lot.
Now, did you have anything you want to add, Patrick?
Not really. I think Alex did a really great job, and the performance and the character just kind of blend into the background, but that's not necessarily a bad thing here. Because Chibita is sort of one of the more normal characters of the show, Chibita gets some really great moments, particularly the Fist of the North Star parody.
It's Fifth of the North Star and Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah. But yeah, Chibita had a great moment in that, but really, I don't have much to say other than it was pretty solid.
Okay, so now I guess we can move on to Totoko.
Okay, so Totoko.
She's a filthy heathen.
I love one disaster bitch.
Okay, holy shit, Totoko is just Morgana from Persona 5 with the pussy. I love it. It is literally Cassandra Morris getting to play unhinged Morgana.
Yeah.
It is Morgana finally allowed to put Ryuji into his place.
It's so funny you say that!
Which is really funny considering something.
Also, I love her fucking fish idol bullshit.
Oh my god. She's trying so hard.
So one of my favorite episodes is when Totoko keeps running into people. And it's like, oh, I'm getting married! And she keeps blacking out in anger and ending up in a fish freezer, like, punching things like Rocky. Then she's like, oh, the Uggo girl in my class had a baby.
Go punch more fish. Oh, wait, how did I get here?
I love that she's like, I gotta lose my virginity, and all the monsters are like, yeah, she's like, but not to you guys. I need to go marry an oil baron.
Yes! I need to find an oil tycoon. She goes, like, speed dating to find one.
And here's the thing, and then she finds one and doesn't do it with him because she says she smells like fish. And then she kicks him out, and then I love at the end of the episode where she's just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go travel abroad and find myself and become a better person.
And then the next episode she comes back, she's like, yeah, I thought about it.
Look, if you're gonna pound the tuna, you're gonna consume it whole hog.
Oh god!
Lick that juice out of the can like a cat. Anyway, so my thing is this. I think that she seals the scene so many times in her episodes, because this is Cassandra Lee Morris getting to go all out, and she's probably one of my favorite performances in the dub.
It's
Yeah.
great.
The delivery of "You'll go down to Totoko Town" is just so good.
Totoko wants all the attention, so it 100% makes sense that Cassandra Lee Morris just straight up goes for it and steals some scenes. Because Totoko wants all the fucking attention.
Jet, I don't remember if it was you, but somebody said in the next new Otsumatsu anime thing, Totoko is going to become a VTuber, and it's going to be exactly what you think it's gonna be.
No, that was Josh, actually.
That sounds like something Josh would come up with.
Okay, for the record, Josh is basically a member of Dub Talk without doing episodes.
Pretty much at this point.
We will heckle him in the audience all the fucking time. Love you, fucker.
Like, at this point, I'm actually convinced that we need to get him on an episode now.
One of these days.
Yeah, so one thing I'll say I appreciated about Cassandra's Totoko was that, while she didn't sound like sickly sweet in a fake way like Ayo Eno did in Japanese whenever Totoko was putting on, like, the cutesy act, I feel like Cassandra did a pretty good job putting her own spin on that whole thing, where she does a good job balancing Totoko between, making her sound like a very cute girl next door who's also kind of stuck up, and then at the same time not hidden psycho who just very clearly wants everyone's attention. I also just love the way in which the mask suddenly drops. Like, in the first episode Totoko appears, it's like, oh, I want to be an idol, and she makes it sound like she wants to do it for her family and whatnot, and like, you're supposed to feel sorry for her. Yeah, and then the next episode Totoko appears, he admits like, oh no, I never cared about any of that. I just did it because I want people to pay attention to me.
Can we talk about Iyami card where she shows up in a murderous devil shark, and then she calls them a bunch of lip-dipped chronic masturbators with filthy foreskin?
Okay, no, and I love my favorite thing about that is where Ichimatsu, I think, is the only one left.
Yes.
And he turns into his Bishi form, and she's like, that's not gonna work on me! And then he gets up and drops his pants.
Yep.
Oh, I can die happy, thank you!
No, and then when Iyami distracts them, she puts up a cardboard cutout and she drives into that too. Just her fucking delivery of, I can die happy now, thank you!
So good. It's amazing. I love it.
She's the baddest bitch there is. That makes her the best bitch there is.
One of my other favorite deliveries in the entire show is in the Mario Kart episode where Otsumatsu's ahead and all the brothers come up behind him with a shell and he's like, get him! And it's like, don't you remember what happens with shells in a Mario Kart game?
It's like, get the person in front of you. It's like, get the person in front of you. Mamma mia!
The Matsu brothers have committed fratricide on this day. I learned what fratricide was thanks to Mr. Osomatsu.
Oh boy.
Also, be Chris Bevins as the narrator of that episode was great.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, one last thing I will say in regards to Totoko is appreciating the joke about her being extremely horny for the idol forms. It makes me wonder if she'd survived if Unipre existed in that universe.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I appreciate, like, the entire joke there is that it's Totoko having what would be a reverse harem with the
Pretty
Matsus.
much.
Mhm.
It's kind of funny.
Yep.
I love it. Cassandra's amazing. Such a foul-mouthed little bitch.
And her part in the Christmas special is just, chef kiss.
They fucking destroy every single love hotel in Japan.
Yes.
Okay, also, when they do the recap episode,
Yes.
Yeah.
and she's in the Who is the Shittiest Brother.
And she's one of the shittiest along with all six of them. She gets so pissed.
Don't skip the recap episode.
No, it's actually really good. The commentary that both Cassandra and Osomatsu had was great.
Yeah, I think a line that was equally funny and terrifying was, like, the Ichimatsu bit ended. So, like, and it was Ichimatsu saying something along the lines, oh god, there's gonna be a Netflix murder-mentary about him someday.
Yes!
Yeah, and then Totoko's response is, I don't know, I kind of relate to him.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, my mom was watching the Florida Man murders the other night, and I got sucked into watching it for like a half hour before realizing, oh wait, I want to go do something else.
I can fix him.
Oh boy.
You can't fix the man from France.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Oh, boy.
yeah.
Again, Jed, I hate you. I can't look at Johann Liebert the same fucking way again.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Sheesh!
Of the three Keefs,
This is the most fun. Like, he's just going hog wild on a hammy the whole fucking time with this one. It's amazing.
I also applaud the meta about the Mario Kart episode is called Iyami's Counterattack,
Yup.
which is a reference to Char's Counterattack,
Yup.
which guess who the fuck Keith Silverstein plays? One Char Aznavour in Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin.
Yup.
I was gonna say, he clearly plays that one kid in Iron-Blooded Orphans who fucks two women.
No, but that is another member of the ensemble of this dub.
I'm gonna learn what that is in October when I finally own Iron-Blooded Orphans.
Dope.
No, but oh sweet baby Jesus. I know 3 of us who are in this call right now also did the Jujutsu Kaisen episode. And last time when we talked about Keith Silverstein being like double triple casted, it didn't go over so well.
No, it really didn't.
Because we said Keith Silverstein's a fucking talented actor, and it's a shame that it didn't go very well to Jujutsu Kaisen. We can't really say that here.
The key difference is direction.
Yeah, the direction here definitely works more. And it also helps that, like, of the characters in the ensemble in general, Iyami sounds the most cartoony.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's great.
It's so fun. I love it. I said earlier, I kept saying she all the time. But, like, yo, I can't even with this. Like, it's so hammy. Choose the scenery. I'm sorry.
And I gotta say, one of my favorite parts with Iyami actually happened kind of early in the course of the show. It's the episode where his teeth are revealed to contain some sort of rare metal.
Yes. Yes, I love that episode.
Like, he's at the height of popularity, and then they finally grind his teeth all the way down. And then he has the downfall, because apparently he's never actually been to France. But he finally gets to go to meet the president of France, and then it's revealed his teeth are gone, and he gets kicked out of the country and sent back to Japan.
Can you believe that man had that much money and he still didn't buy himself a house?
Houses are for bitches!
No, I think my favorite part about, like, him almost going to France, and he was literally about to take, like, a single step onto the soil.
He was
and then
on
got
the
found
stairs
out.
of the plane where he gets stops. He doesn't even take a step on the fucking tarmac. He just throw back into the plane. Oh man. Fucking Iyami says like he loves France. He's been to France all the time. It's like, bitch, you've never been to France. Like, it's great.
Yeah, and then the best part of the episode is, at the very end, he gets smacked in the back of the head and his teeth regrow. And they're just like, oh, we'll help you get money again.
Hey, Hatsubo, do you want to join the rare metal industry?
And they proceed to use and abuse him for profit in the cruel industrial industries.
Just like the rare earths industry.
So funny.
Oh god, he is delightful, he is funny, he is
so
cartoony.
hammy.
Yes, it's amazing. I love it.
It's deliciously hilarious.
Oh, it's great.
He gets found out to be like some ancient kung fu dynasty. Like the SHEEEH dynasty. And he's like doing the training thing. He's like, originally, no, I don't want to go. And then the hot daughter comes up and he's like, I'm in.
Which, I mean, in his defense, she's pretty hot.
Fair enough, Andrew, you horny bitch. But like Keith's performance in this is just so funny. And I think it's like probably one of the funniest performances I've ever heard Keith Silverstein do.
Considering all the more dramatic shit he usually does, like, oh my god.
Yeah, I will say another favorite thing of mine was like in one of the earlier episodes where he's like at the racetrack doing horse bits. And it's like every time he bets on a horse, something bad happens to it.
Yeah.
I love how the first time was like, oh no, the horse is injured the time stream.
And then the next one spontaneously combusts.
And
And
then
then
the
the
last
third
one was
one.
a fucking centaur.
So it doesn't count.
I also love in the Mario Kart episode, everyone's here. That centaur from episode 6.
Yeah. It was so good.
Fucking hell, Keith is having a goddamn
Mhm.
glorious time, and he's so good as the
Oh, he's having the grandest fucking time.
All I have left to say,
Oh no, he just stood up, guys.
she.
God damn it.
Oh, sorry, I had something in my throat. What I meant to say was she!
Sit your ass down!
Yeah, the thing with his performance that definitely destroyed me the most was just his delivery towards the end of the Mario Kart episode.
Oh god, where he's turned into a robot.
That is, like, the best looking episode of the entire show, actually.
So that's where Tokyo Ghoul Re's budget went. I'm gonna make myself sad. Patrick, what do you think?
Oh, I've already largely said my thoughts. Largely I agree with you guys. This is the character that, you know, if they got it wrong, the entire show would basically be ruined. And Keith Silverstein, he doesn't just chew the scenery. He goes full on, like, you have the food bowl ready to go for a little dog, and the second you put it down and tell them it's okay, vroom, they just go after it. It's great. I love it.
Thank God Iyami has such big teeth, because he's gonna make a good lawnmower.
Yeah, Rich, it is interesting you brought up instant performance that would kind of make or break the show, because this definitely would have been the role that would have had, like, the most amount of technical challenges. Because, again, having seen the show in Japanese, Iyami is a character with, like, the most verbal tics.
Yeah.
Like, he has the verbal tic I mentioned before, he has she. He also kind of says me a lot of his lines in Japanese, which, in the dub, they have him say moi, which I think works really well, because it also kind of ties in with his own obsession with friends. And I'm pretty sure this is something the localization manager mentioned he wanted to throw in as kind of a substitute, and I think that works really well, so that was a good choice.
I'm glad that they did that as a touch, because a more subpar localization would have had them say the. Like, a good example of this from another show is the currently airing case study of Vanitas, where instead of calling people San, the sub will have Mademoiselle.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's actually good. I like that.
See, to me, the worst example of that is the Japanese subtitles for To Your Eternity,
Oh!
where they are literally in a fictional fantasy land that is not even reminiscent to the land of Japan, and they are calling him, like, Fuchan or March-san, and it's like, that literally doesn't work. That's why the dub is objectively better, because it gets rid of those.
Mm-hmm.
That's my 2 cents.
Okay, so we spent a pretty good amount of time on this section, but it's time to finally get around to talking about those terrible Matsuno boys.
The best, worst boys they're ever done did.
Oh boy.
Them Matsuno boys got themselves in a real pickle. How are they gonna get themselves out of it?
So we're going to start with the 6th son, Todomatsu Matsuno, and the 2nd son, Karamatsu Matsuno.
The two horniest and one luckiest and unluckiest brother.
Okay, yeah, basically we have the most evil one and the one who was the closest to being a decent person.
When I watch this, I'm like, oh, Karamatsu's just the cool, suave, cool guy. As it turns out,
Karamatsu can have, like, Chunibyo qualities, too.
Karamatsu is actually a Chunibyo whose life is kind of lame, and he's the most decent guy who just gets shit on the most.
Yeah.
Being Karamatsu is suffering.
So, Tony is basically the only one of the bunch with anything resembling decent social skills, and is also kind of low-key the most heartless. While Karamatsu, as mentioned before, is basically just a chuny who thinks he's much cooler than he actually is. But he's also the only one of these boys who can be vaguely considered a good person, and is just constantly dumped on for it. Real quick, playing Todomatsu, we have Max Middleman, who has played such characters as Ritsu Kageyama in Mob Psycho 100, the Ant King in Hunter x Hunter 2011, Atsuki Nakajima in Blue Three Dogs, and the One Punch Man himself, Saitama in One Punch Man. Karamatsu is again played by Ray Chase, who has done everything I mentioned before with Dekapon, but also Ertegun in Carol and Tuesday, Lord Roswell in ReZero, and in Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Go Online, and Bruno Bucciarati in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind.
Okay, so Ray Chase sticks out like such a sore thumb among the Matsu brothers because he's so much deeper and it's just Ray Chase's sexy voice.
Because Karamatsu's trying so hard to be cool, so it works so fucking well.
It works so well. And poor Karamatsu, all he wants to do is wear his leather jacket and hit on women, and he sucks.
Like, I don't even think he really even wants to hit on them.
He just wants to be cool.
He just wants to be cool. He's a fucking greaser. Live or die.
I love when, his Mario Kart being him naked in a bathtub with wine.
Yes.
Yeah.
To which, shout out to the amazing plush artist Kelly Onilani, who does in fact cosplay as that.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Similar to that, early on when Totoko is introduced, Totoko asks for all the brothers to come over to the house, with the exception of Choromatsu. Each of them starts slowly showing up thinking that Totoko is going to have sex with them. And with Karamatsu showing up with a bathrobe, his sunglasses, and the glass of wine, just like, what's up?
Oh, one of the other funniest Karamatsu moments, and Ray sells it so well, is when he's trying to tell Jyushimatsu to not say that he won big at pachinko.
Oh, yeah.
And he's freaking out about it, and you can hear the panic in Ray's voice as he's trying to have that sexy voice.
Yeah.
And the fact that he has that sexy, I'm Ray Chase, and I play Noctis in Final Fantasy 15, and I have dropped women's pants.
Yeah, just because I feel I should mention this real quick. Pruning would say who plays Karamatsu in Japanese. It is one Uechi Nakamura, who is probably best known as Green in both Fullmetal Alchemist versions, but is also the voice of Grey in Fairy Tail.
Oh, God.
And don't forget, the voice of Hawks in My Hero Academia.
God damn it, that's where it is. There he is. Fuck.
Okay. I really do love that Ray Chase gives Karamatsu just all of the swagger, while at the same time he's just an absolute dork. And I think the scene that solidifies that the most is he's having a conversation with, I want to say it was Osomatsu, and then he just asks point blank, do you think I'm excruciating?
Yes! I love that.
Yes.
That's so good.
That's how people describe me all the time.
Osomatsu's like trying to help him out, like, here, take off the leather jacket. Okay. Tank top with his face on it. Why? Take off the shades. Color contacts? What the fuck is wrong with you?
If they could get away with it, you could tell he would be wearing Sharingan contacts.
Oh my god, absolutely.
But I just love it. He's such a dork.
Yes, he's such a dork.
Karamatsu would be the, while you were out, I was studying the blade.
Wow.
He tries so hard to be a good boy, too. Going back to the Iyami card episode, like, if Karamatsu, if he won, he was like, this is my show!
Karamatsu in love!
His anime concept was very City Hunter-like.
I will say one last thing about Karamatsu, which is a joke I appreciated. At the end of that whole, you had the whole, like, ASP Kitty episode, which was, like, very dramatic and kind of sad. And like, everyone's walking off into the sunset, and you just see Karamatsu, and everyone forgot about it.
Yes, he wasn't even there!
Cause, yeah, no, he got kidnapped in the same episode, and everybody forgot about him. And then they did a whole great dramatic episode, and he was missing the whole time, and nobody even asked where he was, and he was like,
No, honestly, the best part is I actually didn't notice he was missing until that moment.
dude, same!
Me too! I was like, wait, hold on!
That was such a good punchline!
That was so good. Oh god, it's so stupid fun, I love it.
But no, Ray Chase is just fucking fantastic as Karamatsu.
So good.
And yes, Karamatsu is probably the closest I would actually call
to
as,
a
like,
decent
a
human
good...
being.
There's a ranking to best to worst. I definitely say
In terms of human beings, yes.
Karamatsu's up there.
Yes. Oh, boy.
Toti, on the other hand.
Oh boy.
Anyway, we said quite a bit about the best boy, so let's talk about the most horrible one.
Okay, I don't even think Toadie's the most horrible one.
No, he's not the most horrible, but he's one of the biggest dicks.
He's the biggest asshole.
Okay, yeah, I should have first that. He's not the most horrible technically, but he's the one who would be the most likely to murder you.
Okay, I'm not even convinced
No,
about that.
no.
That Ichimatsu exists.
Toti is the biggest man slut.
Okay, that one I can believe. He's the biggest man slut without being a man
Toti
slut.
will put hoes before bros every single time.
Toadie is the guy who shits on you for watching ecchi. Meanwhile, he's in the back room fapping it to Goddess Storm.
That is a very specific analogy.
He's the dude who thinks it's fun to make redo of healer jokes.
Oh no.
Okay. I feel like it's worth bringing up the Seiyu counterparts for this particular show, because I feel like that's one of the big things that made the show popular, and it's also kind of fascinating to find out which big Seiyu played which terrible shitlord. This character, Toti, in Japanese is played by Miyu Irano, who you'll know as Shoya Ishida in A Silent Voice, Yuichiro Hayakiya in Seraph of the End, Jintan in Anohana, and Haku in Spirited Away. Oh, also Ritsu in Mob Psycho 100, so
there we go.
Good job.
There's Max. No, like, Max is probably the more nonchalant, because like you said, Megan, he has probably the most social skills compared to the other five brothers. But my god, to see Max Middleton just, like, sweet and kind and everything, just use that as, like, a fucking act. There's at least 2 instances where he does that. He's like, I believe in you, we can do this together, da-da-da. The first being the interview with Mom, where he just pulls the trick of, I don't want to have us fight. I'm not gonna participate. And Mom's like, you're in. And he's like, yes.
Suck on that, bitches!
Okay, another really good Toady moment is when Toady is working at the Starbucks, and he's being fake to the girls, and it's like, here you go! And he's like, oh no, it just never came up. And then when they're looking away, he has the murder face, and I just love the reaction of, whoa, and there's the murder face.
Yep. No, the other moment similar to the Mom interview is actually in Iyami cart, where he's just like, Choromatsu, I believe in you. As the most responsible one, I think you should be the lead. And Choromatsu's all for it. But then the second one, Totoko comes up to try and destroy their asses.
He bails.
Choromatsu bails.
I think another really good moment in the Iyami card episode was like all the other Matsus get eliminated, and he's the only one that's like, oh man, I'm the lead, what am I gonna do? And then he's just here like the Bevan's narrator.
And then he gets erased.
No, so I know the Bevan's narrator just goes, oh man, get a load of this asshole.
Yes!
Also, I think, because they say a lot of raunchy shit, nothing in the world prepared my mind, body, or soul for no pussy is worth that.
Todomatsu seems like the most... You would think starting out that Todomatsu is the most normal. He's not.
No.
Not by a fucking long shot.
He can just hide his shittiness the best.
He's very good at it. And it's scary.
Todomatsu will not pull out bail. Todomatsu will not bail you out.
Yes.
It's not even guaranteed he will pull out.
Fuck.
Yeah, also very briefly, I appreciate that, like, with the Miss Girly Matsu segments, Karamatsu's girl is, like, get to fitness and tooties is, like, a parent of, like, a millennial, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Just so, like, oh, I'm into chakras and stuff.
And Karamatsu is like the athletic girl.
No, like, Toti is, like, the trendy one. It's like, yeah. Femme Toti is a TikTok star.
Oh my god.
Oh man, everybody has wanted me to cosplay as female Toady.
I can see it.
You'd be cute.
Also, I love that some of the guys kind of tried to sound a little bit more feminine as the girly Matsus. Ray Chase did not.
Ray Chase is just Ray Chase.
Ray is just Ray. It doesn't fucking matter. It's great.
Yeah, also very briefly, I forgot to mention it before. There does exist a manga one-shot I think it was made in the 90s, called Osomatsu-kun Grows Up, which is supposed to be what the characters would be doing as adults. So in that version, the Matsus actually did have jobs. Yeah, and the jobs Karamatsu and Todomatsu have are kind of interesting given who they are. So before that got retconned, apparently Karamatsu got married to the daughter of a farmer's market owner, and Todomatsu runs a fish market, which is weird because I think that would be what Totoko is doing.
Yeah.
As you can tell, they have diverged from that canon quite a bit.
Okay, one of my other favorite Toady moments is the Mahjong episode.
Oh my god. That was so good. First of all, Karamatsu basically being the narrator of the Mahjong episode is great.
I also appreciated that had an Akagi reference. I will say one other good one with him was like that bit where he was revealing all the stuff he was hiding from them the entire time.
I climbed Mount Fuji. What?
Yes! What are you gonna tell me? Fine, then I'll tell you everything about myself! And he starts telling them about his fetishes.
I have a fetish about, what was
Belly buttons!
Belly button wrinkles.
Belly button wrinkles, that was it.
The least sexy thing in the world.
I mean, is that hole even big enough to stick a dick in?
If you're working with a pencil...
Oh yeah, that does come up in the final episode, because when Totoko does the I'll let you all go down to Totoko down thing, and everyone's shouting about how they want to do Totoko, and then you hear Todomatsu just go, belly button wrinkles.
Oh, they knew.
Oh boy.
That's amazing.
Someone put a muzzle on Todomatsu.
If you want to talk about characters that need a muzzle, and actually one that has worn a muzzle in the fucking show...
Okay, I guess we can move on to the next pair.
Yes.
This next section can be described as someone will die of fun!
Next on our list of Matsu boys, we have the 5th son, Jyushimatsu, and the 4th son, Ichimatsu. Jyushimatsu is... Okay, look, it's incredibly hard to describe just what Juicy is exactly.
He's a Looney Tune.
Yeah, among these 6, he definitely feels like he would belong to both of the Looney Tunes. Sure.
Jyushimatsu is an experience.
Jyushimatsu is actually a Looney Tune character. He can basically break the fabric of the universe.
Yeah, Jushi is definitely the one who breaks the laws of physics the most.
I mean, he is the frickin' human antivirus of some sort.
Yeah, and Ichimatsu, on the other hand, he's basically just a cat. He also adores cats and is very temperamental. And he acts like he's the one who would be the most likely to murder you when you sleep, but in reality, he's pretty harmless.
Ichimatsu is actually the tsundere, which makes him probably a big fan favorite.
If ESP Kitty taught us anything.
Oh, I'm gonna be honest, the ESP Kitty episode was actually super sweet, and I was kind of blown away.
It was one of the best episodes.
So playing Jyushimatsu, we have Michael Nicholas, who would probably be best known for his work behind the move as the head of NYD Post. But his voice as characters as Guy Shishio and Gao Gagar, Zelos and Slayer's Revolution and Devolution R, or Horror and Shaman King, and just because I feel like it, Mikey and Castle Mikey.
Fuck you.
Alright.
Never forget that show had an opening by the Beat Crusaders.
Oh, shit.
What?
It did.
God, I hate everything.
Chad, I'm so happy to be doing this with you right now.
He's been waiting like 4 fucking years for this day.
And Ichimatsu is played by Carl McCarley, who has played his characters as Cyborg 009 and Cyborg 009 Call of Justice, Claudia Higgins in Violet Evergarden, Mikazuki August in Mobile Suit Gundam Unlimited Orphans, and Shigeo Kageyama, aka Mom from Mob Psycho 100.
Can I chime in to mention their Japanese counterparts briefly? Ichimatsu is played by one Jun Fukuyama.
Ah, yes.
Jun Fukuyama you'll know as Yukio Okumura in Blue Exorcist, Lelouch Lamperouge from Code Geass, and fucking Koro Sensei in Assassination Classroom.
And that's not even the strangest one.
And now, Jushi fucking Matsu. I knew this actor was in the ensemble. I thought this was the one who was playing Ichimatsu in Japanese. No! Jyushimatsu is Daisuke fucking Ono! Daisuke Ono!
Oh, no!
Erwin Smith from Attack on Titan. Shizuo Heiwajima in Durarara. Sebastian in Black Butler. And Shotaro Yare Yare Tase Kujo. What the fuck?
Am I allowed to make jokes that Jotaro's also probably hung like a horse because he has a kid, or...
He's absolutely hung like a horse, but he's terrible at sex.
He's hung like a horse!
Fuck.
I'll allow it, Megan.
Shit.
I'll allow it.
Jotaro is the guy who you think would be good at sex, but he can't find the clit. Which is really weird because he's a marine biologist, so you'd think he'd be good at diving.
Jotaro does not respect women other than his mother. I think that is actually canon.
Yeah, so I want to start with Jyushimatsu just because since you brought up Daisuke Ono, there is actually a very interesting thing in regards to how Jyushimatsu was casted for the dub. Because again, going back to that interview I mentioned with Dave Kassman, he mentioned that Jyushimatsu was actually like the hardest one to cast because Daisuke Ono's performance was like so specific and wacky, and they were having a hard time finding someone to match. And then Jamie Simone, the head of Studiopolis, just suggested Michael. And they ended up going with that, despite the fact that Michael doesn't sound anywhere near as deep.
He doesn't sound anywhere near as
But
deep.
it's just as wacky.
But he accentuates the level of, like, sheer wackiness.
Yes.
And cartoony energy.
It's so good.
That Jyushimatsu requires. Also, I adore every time he says, "What do?"
What it do?
Hustle,
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 muscle,
hustle,
muscle, muscle.
But can we talk about the one time I genuinely felt so bad at the episode that just janked Jyushimatsu's chain? Yeah! Because Michael sold it so well!
Okay, I was gonna build up to that, but holy fuck.
It's so cute! My heart for Jyushimatsu!
I felt so bad! I was like, no! Baby boy!
Baby boy! Like the one Matsu brother who legit actually had a girlfriend.
Who also deserves one because he's the least shitty one of them all. I mean, yeah, sure, sometimes he shits on the table in public, but...
No, that's Ichi.
No, that's Ichimatsu. Jyushimatsu just shows his butt to beat people's faces.
But, like, he seems like a respectable man. Anyway, I think the best thing about that is that Michael is able to balance the whole, serious parts with the comedy parts, and he nails the comedy and the zaniness. Because there are times where Jyushimatsu doesn't even have actual dialogue, it's just fucking noises.
Ha, 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 ha.
Also, I love the part where they all get sick, and his idea to make them better is to go in their bodies to cells at work them, and then at the end the mom is like, tell me there's a cure, I can only handle one of him.
Yes.
He is so wacky. He has his own dedicated theme episode.
Yes.
The Jyushimatsu Festival.
Where it's all just a collective of shorts centered on Jyushimatsu.
It even
So
goes
good.
philosophical.
Yes.
Okay, but also Michael Stinker Nicholas's Valley Girl voice.
Okay. Let's talk about his amazing Valley Girl / Gyaru Gal Girl, which... I'm sorry, that looks a little racist.
I'm not a slut, I'm classy AF.
Oh, I love the I'm not a slut, I'm classy AF line. I just remember looking at that design, I'm like...
Yeah, I felt uncomfortable.
I felt a little uncomfortable looking at that character design. Not even because it was a gal, but because it was a little...
Just a little.
That being said, I love the fucking Valley Girl. She's dissing her sisters, and she's talking about, like, oh, how their uterus has dried up and they'll never find happiness.
Yes.
It's like, I want to beg somebody right now.
It's funny, even though Jyushimatsu has some of the more zany moments, because it's fucking Jyushimatsu. Aside from the dramatic moments like the episode with his girlfriend, Jyushimatsu is the most unassuming person that you would think would probably kill a bitch, but he would.
Yeah, I definitely do appreciate just like the couple of moments where Jyushimatsu is definitely like more aware that he usually acts on. The episode where like they're all huddled around the Kotatsu and debating who should go get the kerosene.
Oh yeah, and he's faking being asleep, the fucker.
He's asleep in a pile of clothes, and he's looking like, hey Choromatsu, the kerosene's out.
You should do
get
something
some.
about that. Like, this character made me laugh my ass off. He made me feel genuine emotions. Yeah, Mike does a fantastic job.
God.
He gives it a lot of eccentric energy, which I very much enjoyed. I don't think he's played a character in an anime this zany before.
I don't even think even in cartoons he's played a character this zany. My big reference is Dean from Venture Brothers, and even that's not
also true.
nearly...
That's not as nearly zany, you're right.
Nowhere near as zany.
But he's bouncing off the walls, he's absolutely eccentric. There are a few people who actually understand him, and I think the standout moment for him is there is an episode where they're looking through photo albums.
Oh, yes!
In an attempt to figure out where his personality shifted. And it's like, kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade. And he keeps going, and then, like, 9th grade, they finally see a picture where his face changes, and they're like, okay, that's it. But then they turn back to the beginning of the book, and they're all laying as babies, and Jyushimatsu has the face.
Yep.
And then they lock the book up.
They seal it like it's going to a fucking shrine, and they block
We will
the book
never speak of this again.
Beautiful.
That's why I said the Jyushimatsu can be the most unassuming, but could potentially murder you in your sleep.
He can break the fabric of the universe on a whim.
I think he's even broken the 4th wall at least once during the course of the show.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, I think like my favorite things with him in regards to his obsession with baseball is the fact that it's revealed in the final episode he's never played baseball before.
Yeah.
God, yep.
Yeah, and also there are a couple of episodes where like you see him practicing baseball and in the background he's using Ichimatsu as a bat.
Yeah.
Yes.
God. Which is like, I genuinely adore the fact that these two actually like each other and hang out.
Yes. I love
Like,
it.
they actually work as a dynamic to the point where Ichimatsu fucking walks him. He takes him on walkies.
Yeah.
It's great. I love Jyushimatsu, and, you know, as mentioned before, his dramatic episode with the date.
My heart.
That,
You're so cute.
like, that should not have worked. That on paper should not have worked.
It did, though.
It
made my
did.
heart hurt.
Yeah, just goes to show Michael Sinter Nicholas's range with the character. And I'm all set, so we can,
Okay, so Patrick, does that mean we determined in the chat nobody was Jyushimatsu, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good, because I was gonna say, who does Patrick have to give walkies to? Because one, it's not me, I'm not into that shit.
I would probably go on walkies, let's be real here.
Hey, Andrew, are you working on your Tadachi cosplay for Anime NYC?
Listen here, if we get Gigi to go to Anime NYC with us, you damn well know she would be the Todomatsu of the group.
So does that make Andrew now demoted to Jyushimatsu?
Demoted? I would wear that badge with pride.
Alright, so we're making you Jushi, and you're gonna walk on a leash around Anime NYC with Patrick.
Woof.
The hell he is?
Okay.
Patrick's like, fuck
So-
that noise.
Patrick's like, I'm not into that shit.
I'm gonna take the leash on this next section.
Do you mean the lead?
I know what I said. I'm gonna take the leash on this one, and I'm going to put my paw down to make this bold proclamation.
He's patting my shoulder. This is terrifying. Please send help.
So, Kyle McCarley.
This is not Kyle McCarley.
This whole dub, everybody's doing a lot of really strong, really good performances, but I'd also make the argument that I can at least pinpoint where I recognize the voice each Matsu brother is using. I have never heard a Kyle McCarley performance quite like this, ever. The closest I can even come to is Ryo from Devilman Crybaby.
Even then.
Even that's a bit of a
It's a
stretch. But I will say this. Hands down, Kyle McCarley is the best performance in Mr. Osomatsu.
Ooh,
period.
That's strong words.
Bar none. He kills every single scene he is in. I don't think there is a single dull moment Kyle doesn't sell everything about Ichimatsu. He sells the deadpan dreariness, the tsundere kitty bullshit, the feline-loving bastard, and even the episode where he has to pretend to be Karamatsu.
Yes! That was great. I love it.
Ichimatsu is so fucking funny. And
I love
Kyle
Ichimatsu.
plays him with such a deadpan level of bullshit where you can just tell that this boy will choose violence, but he also really wants friends. He's just really fucking awkward. There is not a single moment more surreal to me in Kyle McCarley's performance than the Christmas episode,
Oh my god.
where he is Black Santa, and he is basically just third-wheeling this nice young couple's date.
Yup.
He is just extremely awkward, sits next to them,
Yup.
yawning, giving them death glares,
Yeah.
and just very casually, you guys ever heard of Vor before?
I fucking love anime cons.
Ichimatsu is a precious boy. I love Ichimatsu.
Ichimatsu is objectively the best boy, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
objectively
can't
he
even
is.
fight you on that. I think that's
Objectively
actually
he is.
probably the best boy.
Ichimatsu's one of my favorites. I have another favorite, but still.
I'm kind of amazed that I think ESP Kitty was the first one where it's like, oh no, the show can actually make me feel. He is the only character to use a dramatic version of fuck in the show. ESP Kitty's basically reading him, and he basically says, fuck off! The only time where it's like, oh, that was a real fuck.
Yeah.
That was a BoJack Horseman fuck. Oh my god. Kyle steals this dub on his back. Bravo. I need a drink. I'm very for that.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus. No, Kyle is fucking precious. I love Ichimatsu.
Yeah, I want to say like some of the funniest moments to me with Kyle isn't even some of the stuff he did with Ichimatsu specifically, but that's like other like the episode where they're all supposed to be doing like a Super Sentai spin-off and like Kyle narrates it.
Oh, yeah.
Its delivery there destroyed me.
That was great.
Okay, but I have to say, to me, the two standout moments for Ichimatsu are the ESP Cat episode, but also Matsuzo's interview, where he's just like, do you really want me out there on my own? Do you think you can handle the moral responsibility if I do something?
Do you want to leave me to my own devices? Yes.
Oh, that was so great.
That was a good
I was almost spitting laughing.
So, I love Kyle McCarley's performance. It is the best type of deadpan. It's not deadpan emotionless. It's deadpan fed up.
Mm-hmm.
It is the voice that you make when you have a dry sense of humor and you want nobody else around you. So you try to sound as miserable as fucking possible. I also want to compliment the fact that that voice works so well for girly Matsu Ichimatsu.
Yeah.
Because she's... girly Matsu Ichimatsu sounds like a hipster who smoked 33 packs a day.
That's funny because I think I had a note about Ray's female version smoking 10 packs a day.
Okay, Ray's female version is clearly Ray Chase just speaking like Ray Chase. And it doesn't work. Kyle McCarley speaking as Ichimatsu Kyle McCarley works as a female voice. There was no need to be changed. One of the other really funny Ichimatsu ones I like is when, I think it's in the episode where they're mad that Toti won't tell them anything. And he's dressed as Hannibal Lecter.
Yes! Yes, I love that!
I forgot the Hannibal Lecter.
Oh yeah, the Hannibal Lecter voice destroyed me.
Which leads me to one of my favorite lines from Toti, which is that cannibal is full of shit and people.
So good.
And I love they tried to do it again, and he's like, oh, sorry.
He's
I
like,
thought we were done
oh.
that."
He's like, oh, are we still doing that?
Okay, now this one isn't a standout vocal performance that I really liked of him. It was a sight gag with Ichimatsu that was just the best. It's the episode segment with the delinquents.
Oh, God! Where he's got his dick out!
All of the Matsus are kind of there trying to show how tough they are. When Totoko comes out, they cup their hands over their crotch to hide their boner. But with Ichimatsu, when the cat walks by,
Oh, God.
he does a cupping of his crotch.
No, that's not even the one I thought you were bringing up. I thought you meant, like, when they were at the Starbucks.
Hey, this is my Matsuchino!
Yeah!
Oh, that was good too.
The other best boner moment in the show, when Toti's trying to pick which one he wants to bring to the mixer with him, and he dresses up in his girl, and Jyushimatsu sees him and he gets a photo from it. And they're like, how you doing over there? Still hard!
Oh, yeah! Jyushimatsu has the most stamina of all of them.
Michael's fucking delivery of every time answering if he still has an erection as he's like in a bath of ice.
Oh, I had another random, like, sight gag for Ishimatsu that's so fucking great. So, there was this one segment, it's like a detective murder mystery kind of thing, right? And you have fucking Choromatsu and Todomatsu, and they brought in Detective Osomatsu, and he's a shit detective. But for the majority of the bit, Ichimatsu is just standing in a corner in plain fucking sight with, like, a hockey mask and, like, a cleaver, and he has blood all over him, and nobody fucking notices him. Until, like, oh, hey, he's dead, and you find Ichimatsu dead, and it's like, wait, he's not actually the murderer? This is part of the body count that I did at the front yard. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
And then that whole segment ends with everyone dead.
Oh, sweet lord. Kyle is precious. He's definitely one of my favorite performances, and Ichimatsu is definitely one of my favorite Matsu boys, that's for sure.
Okay, do you have anything else you want to add for this section, or are you guys ready to move on?
I think I'm good.
I think I'm good.
Okay, in that case, we can move on to our final two characters of the evening. So we have the third son, Choromatsu Matsuno, and the first son, Osomatsu Matsuno. Choromatsu is the most seemingly straight-laced of the bunch and acts like he's the most determined to get a job, while also kind of serving as our straight man. Osomatsu is, well, just kind of a terrible slacker, a skeeve, and a dude bro. Out of all six, he's probably the most realistic one of the bunch, and honestly, the odds are pretty high you know an Osomatsu. And if you don't know who the Osomatsu in your life is, you're probably the Osomatsu.
Which, if that's the case, please get help. You were kind of underselling Choromatsu. He is simultaneously the goody two-shoes double D of the Matsu brothers.
He's also a straight-up nerd and can be a douchebag.
He's a
at
straight-up
times, though.
nerd, a total douchebag,
Yep.
a chronic masturbator, and
Yes.
a filthy otaku, aka
Megan!
you absolutely know a Choromatsu.
No, wait, Charo, Steph, I'm Otsumatsu.
I'm Choromatsu. Choromatsu is also my other favorite boy.
So playing Choromatsu, we have Sean Chiplock, who explains his characters as Bruno Bagknife and Bird the Witch, Draken and Tokyo Avengers, Guido Mista and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind, and perhaps most relevant to this character, Subaru Natsuki from Re:Zero.
Subaru Natsuki would be a chronic masturbator.
Oh,
Oh,
my
boy.
god.
Which I honestly believe this is why they casted him.
Wonderful.
I live, I die, I jerk again. Amelia Todd!
Osomatsu, on the other hand, is played by Billy Kometz, who has played such characters as Anaya Negretzko, Josuke Higasta and Joseph's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is Unbreakable, Mikhail and Sirius Jaeger, and Gallo Themos in Promo.
Okay, I had a really, really awful thought and I need to say it. Okay, so you know how Mista's bullets are like actual little creatures that can fly around?
Yeah.
Yes.
You think he's ever used them as anal beads?
Megan, go in the fucking corner, you
I'm
sick
already
son of a
there.
bitch. You sick son of a bitch!
Oh my god! They can be used as anal beads and double in eating ass!
I mean, they do know how to eat that salami.
Andrew, Megan's in one corner, you're now in the other.
We're high-fiving each other as we go to horny jail. Look, man! He can just help give Giorno a rusty trombone.
Stop it!
It helps make the Portuguese breakfast go faster!
He's working the boss with his bullets, and he's like, he's doing it for the family.
Andrew!
I love this new Fast and the Furious.
You ever fuck your mod boss, and it's like, yeah, it's for the family.
Andrew, I swear to God! You will sleep on the couch tonight!
He's gonna get cum on his face fast, and he's gonna be furious.
Oh my God!
So, real quick, just because I forgot about it in the last section, in that Osomatsu-kun grows up one child I mentioned before. Yeah, Jyushimatsu somehow became a doctor. Ichimatsu, on the other hand, somehow married into money and became a company president, so... So let that one sink in. As for Karamatsu and Osomatsu, Karamatsu becomes a cop, and Osomatsu becomes an unmarried salaryman, which is probably the most in character out of these six.
Yeah, definitely the most in character.
I'm not sorry for ruining Golden Wind.
Go to the corner.
You could say that was a golden experience.
Yes, it was. And if they were into water sports, you could say that he had a gold requiem.
Good night, everybody. Hang on. Okay.
I laughed and I farted.
Patrick, are you okay?
I'm okay.
Hell.
I'm okay.
Well, hold on.
I wanted to say who plays them in Japanese first. A lot of JoJo sex jokes interrupted the flow of that. Okay, so Choromatsu is Hiroshi Kamiya, who you'll know as such characters as Mephistopheles from Blue Exorcist, Levi from Attack on Titan, Izaya Orihara from Durarara, and Yato from Noragami.
I still remember there was a time in Andrew's life where he could not tell me who Hiroshi Kamiya was.
I have the internet in front of me. It helps. And finally, Osomatsu Matsuno, Takahiro Sakurai,
Oh boy.
who is known for such characters as Suzaku Kururuki from Code Geass, Sasori from Naruto, Uta from Tokyo Ghoul,
Ah, yes.
The
and
man who ate an actual dick.
Reigen Arataka from Mob Psycho 100.
Oh, God.
And just because I just saw this and I never knew about this until now,
Uh-huh.
Iyami Soma from Fruits Basket.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm surprised Andrew didn't mention the Sakurai role people would probably recognize the most, which is Rohan Kishibe.
Ah,
from
yes.
Diamond is
Rohan.
Unbreakable. Yeah, he's Rohan.
He draws hentai and that's art.
Anyway, I love Choromatsu. Choromatsu's my boy. Choromatsu was the first one that I could relate to, and I'm like, a lot of this is just fucking me dealing with my friends on a day-to-day basis. I am unfortunately the straight man of this group.
Yeah, he is definitely the one who tries the hardest to sound like the voice of reason and...
Okay, the best introduction to Choromatsu's character is when he is trying to stand in line for shaking the cat idol girl's hand.
Yes!
And he thinks that it's gonna be his way into getting her to fall in love with him.
He's basically planning his whole plan of attack.
Yeah.
Naturally work your Twitter handle in.
And Sean sells it so well. Because here's the thing, Sean sounds like such a normal human being as Choromatsu.
Yeah!
Like, you would believe that Choromatsu is this weird but well-meaning dumbass that you know, and his brothers are all fucking psychopaths.
Yeah, 100%.
And then Osomatsu comes up and Billy just sells the shit. Out of, oh hey, so you're this girl my brother loves, would you just fuck him already?
Yeah.
You know, maybe give him a rusty trombone. Oh yeah, that's when you're eating his ass and you turn around to jerk him off. Oh man. And then just Sean's absolute fervor anger of, you can't say fuck in front of her? Oh god, now I've done it too. Oh, I can't, oh fuck, I said fuck instead of her. I'm so fucking sorry. And you're just like fucking losing your shit at it.
Oh my god. I love it. Like, it's a great introduction to both the personalities of Choromatsu and Osomatsu.
Yeah, I also just appreciate the Sean's delivery afterwards where he just did like the most stone cold voice. Now, aside from the other four, I have no brother.
Which is just a silly line. I think one of my favorite moments of Choromatsu is when he basically becomes Totoko's impromptu manager.
Yes!
And everybody's like, okay, what did she give you that you are going through all this trouble? Just the tip. She let me touch the tip of her finger. And then Billy's just like, I want my damn money back!
Fuck. I love Choromatsu.
As they say in the show, he carries a lot of the line count of the show.
No, yeah. Like, they made an actual statement during the Iyami card episode where he has a lot of fucking lines in the show.
I also just love Sean's, like, genuine heartfelt, like, oh man, you're all gonna support me in being the main character, and then he gets fucked.
Yeah.
Because, let's face it, a lot of this show is about yanking Choromatsu's chain.
Yeah.
Because he is genuinely a kind of a nice guy, but he kind of starts getting worse, mostly because Osomatsu keeps busting his balls.
No. The thing I really loved, because Megan is right, you would think Choromatsu's fine, but he gets worse as time goes on. And the culmination of that is the fucking douchebaggage episode. Freaking Choromatsu has finally, like, given up, essentially, on getting a job because he has so many, like, high expectations and demands of shit.
I'm gonna go across country and learn how to be a better person.
Outside the window, there's this huge, like, orb thing, and then Billy's Osomatsu and Max's Todomatsu just with him this whole time. And they're like, that's your douche baggage, bro. Like, it keeps getting bigger and bigger. Oh my god, can I actually say my favorite line in the whole fucking show? It's actually the end of episode bit after the douche baggage part, right? So Choromatsu is doing the episode preview thing, and he's gonna go reinvent himself. And this is what he says. Come visit me in Anime Forest. Before I go, let me cast a spell that'll cure the fact that your waifus are trash, your ships are basic, and your dakimakuras smell funny. Oppai, kohai, hentai, fansub, simuldubs, manga club, shinsengumi kigurumi. And I'm just like, okay, I'm done.
Sean is such a good comedic actor, too. Like,
Yes!
I feel like a lot of people don't recognize Sean as much, except for his work in maybe JoJo's and ReZero, but the dude fucking rocks it in a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you thought he was really funny in Dorohedoro, he's funnier in this.
No, yeah, he was phenomenal in Dorohedoro, but oh my god, he fucking takes the show and runs with it with some of the shit Choromatsu does.
Yeah, I actually really like the fact that you put these two together. Honestly, my thoughts are probably gonna kind of blend together on the both of them. As everybody was saying, Choromatsu is probably the most normal of the Matsu brothers in the beginning of the show until he's slowly getting worse and worse because of his brothers corrupting him. Osomatsu, on the other hand, while his other brothers have done worse things than he has, he is the most consistently awful brother of the show.
By far.
Like, all of the other brothers have these moments where they actually do something good for once in their damn lives. And Osomatsu is just the absolute worst. And it's not like he has a body count like Jyushimatsu, or he's two-faced horny like Choromatsu. Like, he is just terrible. Awful human being. And Billy Kometz sells that so well.
Okay, I just love the fact that Billy's Osomatsu performance is just douchebag Josuke.
Yes!
Yeah.
I haven't even watched Diamond is Unbreakable, but I understand the context. Yes.
Oh, yeah, I realized I forgot to mention it when we were like introducing the Matsus, but even though we aren't talking about them specifically, shout out to Johnny Young Bosch's God Matsu and Patrick Saints' Evil Matsu.
Oh my god.
I fucking love, once we've seen that, nothing will ever be the same.
There is definitely one joke with Otsumatsu I want to bring up that I actually didn't notice until I saw someone else mention it on Twitter, and now I can't unhear it. Which is going back to that episode where Todomatsu is decided which one to take to a mixer. Okay, you get to Osomatsu, who immediately just starts groping Todomatsu. Yeah, Todomatsu flips out, and then you hear Osomatsu say, when you're a star, they let you do it, which,
Yes!
if you know who that's referencing...
Which is really funny because earlier in the series, they're making fun of Choromatsu, and he goes, #be best.
A certain orange man once said that.
Oh no!
Yeah, there's also a swipe at his wife.
So, Jet, you mentioned the fact where at the time he was originally announced, Billy was a relative fresh face in the industry, and now 3 fucking years later, the dude is a goddamn juggernaut in the industry. Take your pick. For me, it was Josuke Higashikata. That was the moment I'm like, this dude is going places. For other people, it was Gallo Timos.
For me, it was Ferdinand von Ayer.
For you, it was Ferdinand von fucking Ayer.
My other boy, Ferdinand von Ayer.
This dude is so good, so talented, so stupid fucking funny. And God, is Osomatsu fucking awful.
Osomatsu's awful. Billy is amazing, but Osomatsu's awful.
I still like how I get to be Otsumatsu. And I asked Jet why. And he's like, because you're the loudest one. But let's re-rail, I also make really bad sex jokes like Otsumatsu, so...
You get to be a very fun Matsu brother.
Billy Komet as a comedic actor is fucking killer. Like, I was just thinking about Asmodeus Alice from, like, Iruma-kun. And that was, like, the first time I heard him in, like, almost strictly comedic role. But, oh, man, this dude's fucking funny. He needs to be in more funny shit. And this is as outrageous as it gets.
Like, in terms of the 6 Otsumatsu brothers, this is the most outrageous you can hear any of these guys, honestly.
Absolutely.
And from actors you don't often hear in comedies.
Yeah, I would say Billy's performance as Osomatsu is probably the one that impressed me the most personally, having heard the show in Japanese, because, being honest, like, out of the 6, Osomatsu was probably, like, my least favorite for the longest time. I mean, I thought Takahiro Sakura's performance as Osomatsu was, like, fine for the most part, but it kind of sounded like, you know, a pretty stereotypical sleazeball, which was fine, but, like, not as...
Is this another Keiji Tang Bungo situation?
Oh, God!
Yeah, it's not quite on that level because obviously I didn't like the show beforehand. But I will say that Billy's performance definitely did make me like Osomatsu more than I was expecting.
There's nothing like a good dub performance that makes you like a character you didn't like as much before in Japanese.
Don't you love it when that happens?
I do. Like, to me, my biggest example outside of the obvious Keiji one was Christina Valenzuela as Darkness in Konosuba. Made that character 10 times funnier and even a lot sexier in English. She fucking nailed that for me. So I can definitely see what you mean with Billy making you enjoy Osomatsu a lot more.
So, yeah, because again, like, Takahiro Sakura's performance, it was fun, but it was kind of like, okay, this is like a very typical kind of sleazeball-sounding dude. Billy's performance, it kind of radiates this very... I said this a lot about Billy's vocal tone, but it just radiates very pure jock energy, and I appreciate it so much.
Very dude bro kind of thing, yeah. I hear it.
Oh, this dude has done some keg stands and failed to get some puss.
Oh, yeah. He's definitely failed to get some puss. Jesus Christ. They all have failed, but the closest probably would be Jyushimatsu, since he had an actual girlfriend.
Yeah, Jyushimatsu and then Todi.
Todi would be the second, but Jyushimatsu because he had a girlfriend.
Yeah, it's basically like this. On a ranking of which one you would definitely not want to be around women the most, Osomatsu ranks the highest.
Oh yeah, Osomatsu is awful. I would not want to go on a date with Osomatsu. He would just be an awful...
Osomatsu is like the exact opposite of Josuke, where like, if Josuke was to have sex with you... it would be, like, the most attentive, tender sex in your life. You would feel so good afterwards. It is no wonder Okuyasu has such a good personality. But if you were to have sex with Osomatsu, first of all, one, I don't think he would last, like, more than 5 minutes.
Oh god, no. Not even.
Okay, second of all, he would be that guy who would put it in your ass by accident.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Third of all, he probably smells like a dumpster. In short, ladies, do not fuck Amatsu, especially Otsu.
If you are to find yourself in an intimate scenario, never settle for an Otsumatsu.
Nope.
Always go for a Josuke. You could try to shoot for a Gallo, but he's already married to a man who's on fire.
Okay, Josuke and Gallo are married to men.
Also true.
Like, if I was gonna rank characters that Billy Kometsu has played on a list of I would have sex with them and I would not have sex with them, Like, Gallo and Josuke are up there. However, I would rank Osomatsu above Naofumi.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I would.
You'd fuck Naofumi?
Naofumi at least has stamina. Osomatsu's basically like a floppy noodle after 6 seconds.
Fair enough.
Like, the shield can at least stay hard.
Yeah, but do you want to have sex with Naofumi, though?
I don't even want to be near Osomatsu.
Okay, fanfiction writers, I need you to write me a fanfic where Osomatsu and Naofumi have sex. I will give you $20.
Anyways, Sean Chiplock's hilarious, and Billy Kometz is a fucking riot, and god, these fucking boys are awful.
It's such a talent to be really good at playing really shitty people. And I mean
Yeah.
that. And to do it and have it be comedic and work. Because I'll be real with you, I hate Konosuba, but I like this a lot. And they're both really mean-spirited comedies. But I think, unlike Konosuba, people don't think that they're supposed to be like the Matsu brothers. Like, people aren't going around and calling the Matsus Chads.
Nobody wants to be a Matsu.
Everybody wants to be a cat, especially Ichimatsu.
Everybody wants to be a Dayon.
Can I just say one other thing? Because we haven't brought this up. The last two girly Matsus. I like how Choromatsu's is basically a straight Fujoshi. And for some reason, Osomatsu is like...
The working girl.
The working girl. Like, she's the straight woman of the group. It's like, how?
Girly Osomatsu is a Gretzko.
But I just had to bring up Sean Shiplock, the Fujoshi. Because that was great.
Yeah, I also appreciated that somehow, like, after all the girly Matsu segments, like, the last one was just a part of it ending with them as old ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are those the Hemsworth brothers?
Oh god.
Okay. So, you guys good to move on to final thoughts?
Yeah.
I think so.
Honestly, I'm gonna keep this kind of short and sweet. This show had its meat hooks in me back when it was first airing. That first episode left one hell of an impression, which, sadly, no one will ever be able to see again. It is locked deeper than the Disney Vault.
And the Disney Vault has porn in it.
Jesus.
Show's great. I didn't know what to expect with the dub, but it absolutely blew me away. So, yeah, thumbs up.
I have been hearing about Mr. Osomatsu for some time now. I did not know what to expect. Jet, you were right. This is my level of sense of humor bullshit. I'm still blown away this became a massive juggernaut of a hit. This is outrageous. This is volatile, humorous bullshit to a T. It's funny, raunchy, sometimes very uncomfortable, but also somehow genuine. I can't believe the show is real. And I'm so glad that after like half a decade, we finally got this dub, and I'm very happy you made me watch it, Jet. Thank you.
Kind of on the opposite hand. Jet, what the fuck did you make me watch? I keep saying that. But as someone who only knew bare minimum about what this show is about, holy fuck. It's so out there and crazy, and the dub is just, oh my god. I either couldn't stop laughing or, like, have my mouth wide open at some of the shit that they pulled. No, the dub is so much fun. The Matsu brothers, as shitbags as they are so precious. This is probably a really good comedic ensemble cast, that's for sure. If you have the chance, go watch Mr. Osomatsu, but only if the humor is your cup of tea, because some of the humor might not be for everybody.
Yeah, this is a really raunchy show. Like I said, I thought it was going to be raunchier. At least the dub, anyway. I think it does take a little bit for the show to get entertaining, or at least start hitting its stride humor-wise. But the dub is very good all around. It's a really funny dub. It's got a little bit of heart in it, but most of it's in its ass.
Yeah, you right.
And it's not saying the performances are ass, because the performances are great. I think, especially the six brothers, played by Billy, Sean, Kyle, Max, Mike, and Ray, all really balance off each other. And, like, if you want to watch, like, just a part of an episode to hear them bounce off the walls at each other really well, I would say look up the dub for the Mahjong episode, or the episode where they have to go get the kerosene. Or when they're fighting over who has to get the kerosene. The second part of the episode's a little weird and kind of funny, But, like, the first half of that really, really makes the most sense. But overall, really great time. I'm looking forward to picking up the second season. I'm just gonna get it at Anime NYC, or make one of you get me it at Anime NYC, because, you know, birthday.
Happy birthday, bitch!
Happy birthday, take some shitty boys. Jet, Country Roads, take us home.
I've been pretty into the show ever since I stumbled across that first episode. It's been making me laugh ever since, so I was really looking forward to the dub. I was really happy when Viz announced they were dubbing it, and even though it took a long time, I'm glad the dub finally came out. There are definitely a lot of challenges going into this dub with how they have to translate things, where and when to punch things up, and I think on the whole they did a really bang-up job with that. There's a lot of really good punch-up humor here. They also really know when to just let a lot of the show's humor kind of work on its own. And it's a whole lot of fun, and I really like the dub cast. Everyone here is pretty well casted. They nail the characters really well. They have a lot of good delivery. Everyone bounces off each other really well, and I don't know, that's a really fun show. I really dig its weird slapstick humor and some of the off-kilter crude humor and just the way where you never quite know what you're going to get in each episode, and that can be a lot of fun. And yeah, I wasn't sure we were ever going to quite get this done, but I'm glad we did because it turned out really well, and everyone here did a really bang-up job on it, so looking forward to that second season.
Yeah, buddy.
Thanks, Bevins.
So that more or less wraps us for tonight. If you want to watch Mr. Osomatsu, if you want to watch it subtitled, you can do so on Crunchyroll or Hulu. If you want to watch the dub, unfortunately, it is currently only available on home video, so you will have to pay for the Blu-ray.
Not just home video, actually. You can buy individual episodes of the dub digitally.
Like, I imagine Viz will let it stream eventually, but for now, those are the only ways you can have the dub.
But yes, if you get an opportunity to watch the dub of Mr. Osomatsu, fuck it, just go for it.
Just do it.
So, yeah, if you want to follow anything that we do, we're the Dub Talk Podcast. You can find us on the Twitters, Instagram. We usually have episodes up on YouTube, Spotify, and Podbean. If you'd like to support us, you can do that through a one-time donation through our Ko-fi, or you can become one of our lovely patrons. And before we wrap things up tonight, I'd like to give a shout out to some of our patrons. At the $5 tier, we have Megan's Mom and Dad, Michelle Travis, Miraculous Corazon, Nico Robin but with Yowie Hands, Sue Tweedy, and Victor Marabona. At the $10 tier, we have Kari Lessicow, Crimson Akinda, Jacob Wilson, Jared Hawkins, Julia W., Lenti, Blessed Sorby, and Otaku Anthony.
Can I please say, Mom and Dad, please do not listen to this episode.
Oh god! Megan's mom and dad do not listen to this episode.
Too late.
We say at the end of the episode,
Mom and Dad!
Megan shouts into the ether, Mom, Dad, don't listen!
Anyway, thanks for the support. So there's anything you guys want to plug real quick?
Hello, my name is Steph Matsu. Sometimes known as Lilac. You can follow me on Twitter at Lilac Anime Review, with review being spelled R-E-V-U-E. I also have a blog, lifeandtimesoftarget.wordpress.com, and I am just realizing that we didn't promote the Twitch.
Hi, my name is Megan Matsu, otherwise known as Megan. Every Wednesday, you can catch me on twitch.tv/dubtalkpodcast, where I play Fire Emblem The Three Houses with our boy Bylad, Weedhead, and Fucker of Dedue, if the game would let Dedue and me be gay.
And I stream on Thursdays.
I also stream with Steph on Saturdays at this time. Currently, we are playing through Okami.
Yes.
Jackson sometimes streams on Monday. Alon sometimes streams. Twitch.tv/dubtalkpodcast. Subscribe to us, or I'm hitting Andrew in the balls with a baseball bat.
Yay!
Also, my Twitter is QueenEra2, and if you don't follow me, I'll have Patrick take Andrews on walkies in New York City.
So you're telling me I should unfollow you then, so I can see that happen?
I mean, if you follow me, I'll make him do it in leather assless chaps.
See, I don't even want to see that. I don't want him to be put through that.
Okay, fine.
Because I love him.
I appreciate that. I think even I have my limits.
But what if you were the one wearing the assless chaps, Steph?
No.
we're here for the Airbnb.
That's supposed to be Andrew, though, not me!
Hi, I'm Andrew Matsu. You can find me over on Twitter at MangaMan9000. I am a member of the Dub Talk Podcast, but yes, I also am a member of another anime-based podcast, Surreal Resolutions Podcast O&A, where we talk about the latest of anime news, alongside my buddy Jet here.
I'm Patrick Matsu, aka Roots of Justice. You can find me on the Twitter.com at Roots of Justice, mainly retweet cute animal pics, talk general fandom. Good time. You should come follow me. I am planning to start streaming on the Dub Talk Twitch soon.
Yay!
I'll probably end up playing Yakuza 0.
Cool, and I'm Jetmatsu. You can find me on Twitter at DevineNega, where we usually be talking about anime, cartoons, or just general fan stuff. You can also find me on my blog, Adaptation Infinity, where I will sometimes write things if I feel like it. And as Andrew Matsu mentioned, you can also find me in another podcast, Podcast OD, where we usually be talking anime news and whatnot. And usually a pretty good time. So, thanks for joining me tonight, guys. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Of course, dude.
This episode
hell
was
yeah,
like
man.
3 years in the making.
And again, the timing couldn't have been better since, like, Osomatsu Season 2 got announced.
You know what? I can't wait for the next episode we do with each other. Steph doesn't have to be on it, but the rest of you have.
Yeah, but I know about it.
It's the Marvel Comics Team Grimgar will return.
Returning is a threat.
Yes.
Alright, you slackers, we all gotta go to bed because we have to start this job hunt again early in the morning.
But I was just gonna jerk off in the morning.
I was gonna jerk off right now.
Really? Really, Megan Matsu, really?
Jerk off. Jerk off.
Jerk off, jerk off, jerk off,
jerk
off.
I gotta go to bed because I got a food in the oven.
Jetmatsu, please help me.
So, thanks for listening to this episode, and I will see you guys all later.
God damn it!
Hustle, hustle, muscle.
Muscle, muscle, jerk off, muscle.
No!
Otago on the dubba.
Shit!